Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we living. Yesterday, The Athletic posted an article entitled MLB Hitters Tiers, Top 125 Position Players Ranked in Groups from Ronald Acuna Jr. to Mike Yastrzemski. So basically, they had 5 different tiers consisting of 125 players. The 5 different tiers were different levels. Tier 1 were franchise players. Tier 2, MVP caliber players, so on and so forth. So I figured we could look at them, take a look, see if we agree, disagree, what we think about them. Athletic is under a paywall, so not going to share the article, but it was written by 3 people. Stephen J. Nesbitt, Brittany Girola, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, and Eno Saris. And after they did it, they said they spoke with more than 25 people in the game, MLB executives, evaluators, coaches, players, and more, and asked for an audit. So let's get into it and see what they came up with, starting with Tier 1 franchise player. There are 10 guys who made it. So basically what it also mentioned was if they're in the same tier, it's not as big a drop-off as the different tiers. So from the drop off from 1B from 1A isn't as severe as the drop off from 2A to from 1B to 2A. So if they're in the same tier, it's not a huge drop off. But 10 guys in tier 1 franchise player, top 5 in 1A. We got Ronald Acuna Jr., Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, and Mike Trout. 1B. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Jose Ramirez, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Trey Turner. Congrats to Jose Ramirez on that extension he received today. Fernando Tatis Jr., of course, is injured. Ronald Acuna may come back at the end of the month to DH. So those are the top 10 that they came up with. The second tier has a few more players on it. They have 6 guys in 2A and 8 in 2B. 2A, we got Bo Bichette, Carlos Correa, Rafael Devers, Wander Franco, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Yordan Alvarez, Xander Bogaerts, Alex Bregman, Manny Machado, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Will Smith, and Kyle Tucker. If I had to pick one guy that maybe should be tier 1, I might have to go Bryce Harper. 2-time MVP, reigning NL MVP. I think if Aaron Judge, I know he's mostly stayed healthy last season, but if he consistently stayed healthy, played 100, let's say 140 games plus, I think he could be a tier 1 guy too. But since he often does miss a chunk of games, I have no problem with him being a tier 2A. Wander Franco, already 2A, is kind of surprising. Don't get me wrong, I think the guy is going to be an absolute stud, but maybe a little too high, at his young age. What is he, 21? All right, tier 3, all stars. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys in 3A, and we have 15 guys in tier 3B. Again, all-star caliber players. So 3A consists of Ozzy Albies, Nolan Arenado, Byron Buxton, Paul Goldschmidt, Yasmani Grandal, Francisco Lindor, Matt Olson, JT Realmuto, Brian Reynolds, Luis Robert, and Trevor Story. 3B, Pete Alonso, Jose Altuve, Tim Anderson, Chris Bryant, Joey Gallo, Jonathan India, Brandon Lau, Ketel Marte, Cedric Mullins, Tyler O'Neill, Salvador Perez, Jorge Polanco, Anthony Rendon, Austin Riley, and George Springer. I would say if any of these guys that I think possibly could have or should have been on tier 2, Matt Olson, I think it's very little, if any, drop off from Freddie Freeman to him. So if Freddie Freeman's 1B, I would think Matt Olson should be at least 2B. Clearly expecting a bounce back season from Francisco Lindor. Huge disappointment in year 1 with the Mets. A guy like Byron Buxton, can he actually stay healthy? If he does stay healthy, he's clearly a tier 2 player. But since he's been hurt pretty much every season in the big leagues, he's at 3A, and I can't say I have much of a problem with that. Salvador Perez, I think maybe he should have been a 3A. And with Cedric Mullins at 3B, it's clear that they don't know if he can duplicate the season he had in 2021. Tier 4 are considered the top starters. So there are 13 guys in 4A, and there are 17 in 4B. So 4A, we got Willy Adames, Randy Arozarena, Javier Baez, Cody Bellinger, Matt Chapman, Josh Donaldson, DJ LeMahieu, Starling Marte, Yoan Moncada, Max Muncy, Giancarlo Stanton, Jesse Winker, Christian Yelich. 4B, Nick Castellanos, Wilson Contreras, Brandon Crawford, Jake Cronenworth, Trent Grisham, Mitch Haniger, Brian Hayes, Enrique Hernandez, Whit Merrifield, Sean Murphy, Brandon Nimmo, Kyle Schwarzer, Dansby Swanson, Chris Taylor, Gleyber Torres, Justin Turner, and Alex Verdugo. So looking here, we got two guys in Cody Bellinger and Christian Yelich, who both were former probably tier 1 players who have dropped all the way to 4A and have not performed like 4A players of late. Can they bounce back to being closer to those tier 1 guys, or will they eventually fall off this? Giancarlo, if he could stay healthy for a second straight season, is at least a tier 3 player. Willy Adames, not with the Rays, that's a mistake, with the Brewers. Was phenomenal with the Brewers after being traded from the Rays. He could be a tier 3 player. 4B, Trent Grisham, I would put him more of a tier 5. Mitch Haniger maybe could be a 4A. He was awesome last year. Same with Castellanos. I get he's not good in the field, but was an absolute stud with the bat last season. Otherwise, not much of a problem with the tier 4 guys, and we'll end with the tier 5. I won't see how many are in each, but these are the above average starters. So 5A, we got Jose Abreu, Josh Bell, Brandon Belt, Jeimer Candelario, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, Rhys Hoskins, Eloy Jimenez, JD Martinez, Austin Meadows, Anthony Rizzo, Jorge Soler, and Joey Votto. 5B, we have Andrew Benintendi, Dylan Carlson, Tommy Edman, Eduardo Escobar, Ty France, Avisel Garcia, Mitch Garver, Max Kepler, Ramon Laureano, Nathaniel Lau, Jeff McNeil, Tommy Pham, Franmil Reyes, Gene Segura, Luis Urias, Jared Walsh, and Colton Wong. Some of these 5A guys, I'm really surprised aren't in tier 4 or higher. Jose Abreu, really 5A? I would probably put him in tier 3, to be honest. Teoscar Hernandez, I believe belongs in at least tier 4. Joey Votto, somewhat of a renaissance season at the age of 37 last season. Can he replicate it? I don't know, but I probably would have put him tier 4 as well. 5B, don't have much of a problem. Jared Walsh, I could see it being a guy who moves up. Other than that, Mitch Garver could stay healthy, possibly him as well. But there we have it. The 125 best position players according to the 3 writers with The Athletic in 5 different tiers. What do you guys think? Do you agree with these? Who would you move around? Would you include anyone else in tier 1? Would you have taken someone out of tier 1 and put someone else on? Did they miss someone? Were you surprised someone wasn't listed on any of the tiers? Let me know in the comments. But don't forget to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.